in terms of tackling security, there is lack of political will.
Beyond the headlines.
Who are the sponsors of insecurity in this country?
From breaking news to everyday conversations, this is where Nigeria's conversations begin. We track the issues shaping Nigeria and the world today. The world is talking, and we're listening. This is Trends on LJE News.
Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Trends on LJE News, where we bring you the latest and developing stories in Nigeria and, of course, across the globe. My name is Omotola Adeleke. I have here with me, of course, Judith. Judith, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning,
everybody.
All right, we also have Esther here with us. Esther, hope you're good.
Very well, thank you.
You're shiny.
Thank you.
I wanted to say shine, bobo. You're not a bobo. All right, so let's quickly run through our headlines for this edition of Trends. Tinubu signs Electoral Act 2026 amendment ahead of 2027 polls. Tinubu seeks forgiveness, calls for unity during Ramadan. Igini urges Tinubu to reject Electoral Act bill, warns of democratic setback. Electronic transmission alone cannot guarantee credible polls, Shehu Sani. Dangote projects Naira to strengthen to 1,100 Naira per dollar in 2026. Ogun police launch probe into alleged assault of TikToker Mirabel. And to the lead story, Bola Tinubu on Wednesday signed the Electoral Act 2026 amendment into law days after the Independent National Electoral Commission unveiled the timetable for the 2027 general elections. The signing ceremony took place around 5 p.m. at the presidential villa in Abuja with principal officers of the National Assembly present. Lawmakers had passed the amendment bill on Tuesday, clearing the way for presidential assent. The new law has reignited national debate, particularly over provisions concerning the electronic transmission of election results and broader reforms aimed at strengthening transparency, credibility, and public confidence in Nigeria's electoral process. Also, Bola Tinubu has appealed to Nigerians for forgiveness, saying, "If I have erred, I ask Nigerians to forgive me," as Muslims commence Ramadan. Speaking at a Ramadan tafsir at the State House Mosque Abuja, he urged citizens to embrace unity, peace, compassion, and moral renewal, describing the holy month as a time for reflection and national cohesion. A former resident electoral commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mike Igini, has urged President Bola Tinubu to withhold assent to the Electoral Act, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2026, describing it as a recipe for chaos. Igini criticized Clause 60, which permits manual collation as a fallback to electronic transmission of results. He warned that weakening real-time transmission could undermine electoral credibility. The bill passed by the Senate after heated debate faced opposition from Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe. Igini also faulted the judiciary's past handling of election dispute, urging court to defend due process and protect voters' right to safeguard Nigerians' democracy. Quickly, let's listen to what Igini has to say. All right, Judith, we've heard what's happening. Let's quickly start up with President Bola Tinubu, which is the latest on ground right now. He has, signed the Electoral Act Amendment Bill into law. Despite lots of Nigerians protesting, we also had some members of the National Assembly who protested. Some civil society organizations have come out, to tell the National Assembly to make it a full electronic transmission of result, especially, the argument that concerns real-time passage of this result. Now, despite all this protest, despite all this outcry, the president still went ahead, to recognize and to also pass the bill into law. What are your thoughts on this?
Honestly, at this point, I think, they were protesting at the National Assembly, and I think they still are. Although,
You know,
okay, as of
despite the
and all of
nays that were louder and all that,
yeah,
it was still passed.
it was still passed. I think it's really sad that this country is being run this way because we are meant to believe that this is a democratic country where the voices of the people matter and everything. But at this point, we are seeing it very clearly that our voices don't matter. Because I mean, more people are saying they want this. The even the people, the senators representing us are also, some of them are also saying we want this. Why exactly are we being ignored at this time? Why exactly are we like, they are just disregarding every other thing? They just want to do what they want. They just disregard any other thing that is not in alignment
So
with what they want.
has this shown that protests in Nigeria are ineffective?
Actually, at this point, yes, because I mean, people have been protesting. The senators protested, and still they are signing the bill.
So
The
what do you think,
president has
what
signed
do you
into
think
the bill.
Nigerians should do?
Honestly, if at the risk of sounding I don't know, illegal or something, I think Nigerians should boycott the elections. Actually, at this point, nobody should vote. If you are not going to listen to us, we are not going to vote for you. Boycott the elections until the right thing is done.
All right,
That's the
Esther,
thing.
you know, according to Mike Igini, he said, and I quote, that the e-transmission issue, not even the e-transmission, the one President Bola Tinubu had passed into law right now, is capable of causing chaos and all that. You think that is right?
Of course, it's 100% capable of causing chaos because why would Nigerians outcry, protest, dialogue, converse, tweet, every measurable form of reaching out to the president that this is what we want was just swept under the carpet? And then it went ahead to pass the law against our choices. That is making it seem like this is not a democratic nation. Intimidation, they don't listen because it's not even about just Nigerians. We had viable citizens there. We had so many notable senators that even in the yay and nay thing, they still didn't listen to us. So why are they trying to say, okay, oh, this is what they want and this is what we... They're meant to stand there for us. So if this law has been passed, I think it's going to cause a huge rift in the incoming election in 2027 because Nigerians will not want to, allow their votes to not count this
Would
time
you want
around.
to align with what Judith said, that Nigerians should boycott or perhaps just refuse to go out for elections on that day?
Honestly, yes. If it's possible, it will happen. It should be, because these people are clearly showing us that the election is going to be rigged, irrespective of what we want as a nation. So, if we're not sounding so, violent, then yes. Since they don't want to listen to us, since we don't matter to them, they still do what they want regardless. Why are we coming out to vote for you?
You know,
We don't want our vote to
we
count
would want to
in
also,
the way we want.
okay, we would want to also say the president came out. We read it on the news right now, and he said that Nigerians should forgive him whatever he had heard. Now, he said that, and so a few minutes later, he went ahead to sign the Electoral Act amendment into law. Is this sounding like Agodesino, but at the same time, keep forgiving me?
Okay. I feel like the apology was a mockery. Yeah, it's more of a mockery because why are you apologizing for what you still do? There's really no need to apologize for something when you're still not going to change your
So
ways
you don't
or
think
amend
it
your
was
ways.
a
It was
sincere?
not sincere.
Okay.
It was just a statement. I mean, he's president, so he just wants to come out and read in Judy's word AI indents letters to us because from a place of sincerity, it wasn't coming from there. Honestly, it wasn't.
All right, let's move on to the next story. Former Kaduna Central Senator Shehu Sani has said electronic transmission of election results does not automatically ensure free, fair, and credible elections. Speaking on Sunrise Daily, Sani argued that no electoral system is completely immune to manipulation. His comment followed the Senate approval of electronic transmission with manual collation retained as backup. He maintained that credible polls depend more on national commitment than technology, noting that vote buying and other irregularities persist despite legal safeguards. According to him, when there's intent to rig, perpetrators often find ways to circumvent existing systems and regulations. Esther, from what Mr. Shehu Sani is saying right now, is probably saying, even if the president accepts what the masses or what lots of Nigerians are saying, even if he agrees for full implementation of electronic transmission of results, it's not going to stop electoral malpractices. So what is the need of even fighting for it?
So why didn't they give it a try? Why didn't they listen to us? We believe it's not going to curb electoral malpractice 100, but at least it's going to take 40% out of it. And that is what we want. We want these elections to be a bit transparent, because over the years, we've had our leaders imposed on us. That is why I take it to be, because this is not who we want our leaders to be. So if we were saying that we want this to be amended, at least to, even if it doesn't work, let it be that they listen to us one time, because I don't think there's ever been a time the government listened to the tears of the masses. So yes, if they are claiming it wasn't even going to change anything, why don't you just listen to us and let's give it a try?
All right, Judith, let's hear from you.
I think I agree with Esther, because you are saying this would not work when you've not even tried it. You are just disregarding. This is just an excuse, actually. I mean, there are countries with better technology that use electronic transmission of results, and we don't hear anything like votes, ballot paper snatching, or the IREV paper being manipulated and all of that. Oh, sorry, the Form E8. We don't hear anything about it being manipulated and all of that. If they are so sure that this would not, that the transmission of results electronically is not accurate, why are they fighting against it? Why are they so against it? Just do it for us. That's what we want.
You don't think the electronic transmission of result will still work? Because what they are saying is the manual collation is just going to be a backup. Should, in case the electronic transmission doesn't
we both know that they don't intend to do that.
So it means that statement is just to, the more you look, the less.
Exactly, it's false. It's very false. We all know, everybody that hears it and everybody fighting against it know that the real intention there is for them to use it, and then when the elections are rigged, they'll be like, oh, network was bad, or at least we told you guys earlier that in case of network we would do this, but they don't even plan on doing the right thing at all. Because if not, why are you not doing it?
The chairman of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has projected that the naira could appreciate to 1,100 naira against the dollar this year, citing the impact of ongoing government reforms. Speaking at the launch of the Nigerian industrial policy in Nigeria, Abuja, specifically, attended by Vice President Kashim Shettima, Dangote said curbing import and boosting local production would strengthen the currency. He described the current exchange rate of about 1,300 naira per dollar as temporary, noting that increased manufacturing could ease pressure on foreign exchange. Meanwhile, Femi Otedola predicted the naira could trade below 1,000 naira per dollar by 2026, driven by output from the Dangote Petroleum Refinery. Judith, reports have been coming out. In fact, almost on a monthly basis, the inflation rate in Nigeria keeps reducing. The dollar rate, of course, too, has been reducing. There was a time it got to about 1,600 naira. Right now it's about 1,300 naira per dollar and about 1,400 naira in the parallel market, the black market, of course. So should we say Tinubu's reforms are working gradually? Are they gradually working?
Honestly, what reforms exactly? The removal of the subsidy and all of that. I feel like the supposed reforms that are working is just because people are tired.
So you don't think these results are positive? The reduction in dollar to naira, the inflation, food inflation, of course, reducing. You don't think these are positive results?
They keep saying life is getting better for Nigerians. But then when you go to the streets, you see that nothing is getting better. Things are still expensive. Rent prices are increasing, bills are increasing, and other things. And then food is reducing. Is that really life getting better when the money for this is being used for this? That's really not life getting better at all.
Okay. Esther, I was speaking with a friend one time like that, talking about this dollar rates to naira and all. He mentioned something. He said he would even like the dollar to keep increasing. That if you have about like 1,600 naira per dollar, if his uncle sends him money from abroad and he exchanges it here, it's going to be more money for him, You understand? Then I told him, if it's like that, if the dollar gets to increase that way, it means imported goods are going to be very expensive. Now, he said, yes, he knows and he prefers it. That even right now, are things not still expensive? Like, it's almost the same thing. He's still going to have some more money to save. If he can just decide on his own to buy some of these imported things. If he doesn't want to get some of these imported things, he decides to go for local stuffs. But what's more important to him is the fact that money comes from abroad and he exchanges it to naira. What would make someone have this kind of mindset, not minding the negative effect of this depreciation of the naira to dollar if it happens that way?
It's simple. One man's food is another man's poison. What works for you and doesn't work for me will benefit you and will hurt me. Now he's on the beneficiary side, so he's excited whenever the dollar goes up. Imagine we were earning in dollars. We'll be sad that the dollar is going down. But we're earning, most of Nigerians earn in naira, except those in high places that earn in dollars. So of course it's affecting Nigeria. And Nigerians, our currency is naira, so we should be excited when the dollar suits us more. So I think it's not from a place of concern when he says he doesn't like it when the dollar is going down. Because how about the hungry people? How do they feed? How about the people on the streets? How about the low-income earners?
So don't you think this is as a result of the fact that things are not even changing despite the naira? Despite the naira, appreciating, things are not still changing. So are you telling me that if you have someone who sends you dollars from abroad, if the dollar rate is about 1,500 naira, let's say, are you saying you pray for it to come down? You still pray for the dollar to come down. If you have someone who sends you money from abroad.
That's why I say what's good for this person isn't good for this person.
Now I'm talking about you, for example.
Yeah.
Like personally, would you want the dollar to come down?
Now, if I were earning in naira, if I were earning in dollars, I would want to earn more.
Okay.
Right? So that's how
Aren't you concerned about things getting expensive and you need to spend more money to get those things?
What I'm saying is, if I were earning in dollars, I'll say, oh, I'm earning more money. But the funny thing is, even if you're earning like that, you still have to spend more. If I'm supposed to get this thing for 1,000 naira and dollar is up and I'm getting it for 1,000 naira, 1,500, it means I'm still spending more. So it's still affecting all of us regardless.
Judith, I would want to see this guy's statement as a show of failure from the government side. I would want to see it as, come on, what's the difference? Since I'm collecting money, there's no, even if things are going to be expensive, I can just decide. So do you think he's talking from a place of concern, or he's talking from a place of the fact that the government has failed us? There's no difference, even if the naira or the dollar is high or low.
He's definitely talking from a place of the government has failed us and there's really no difference. But one thing I think about people that think like that is the fact that they don't realize that if I have, for example, I have 800,000 naira now in this economy, the things I can get with that would be very little compared to the things I could get with 800,000 naira like 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So there is really no difference, like Esther has said. You would spend more money eventually, whether you are the dollar is 1,500 naira or not. You would still spend more because the things that were sold for 100 naira 5 years ago are no longer sold for 100 naira now. So at the end, it's like you are earning more money, but you're also spending more. So there's really no difference.
Okay, how about in a situation where a lot of our Nigerian youths are now content creators and earning in dollars, remote workers, virtual assistants who are earning in dollars and all that? Don't you think it's even an advantage for the young people of Nigeria that the dollar or the naira keeps depreciating?
Whether you are earning in dollars or not, if you earn, let's have an example now. A few years ago, a pack of spaghetti was like 200 naira. And right now, a pack of spaghetti is 1,000 naira. So if the dollar is exchanged for 1,500 naira, back then you could get spaghetti like multiple, or at least 5 or 10 with the same amount of money that you'd use to get one right now. So you are earning in dollars and you are spending in naira. Because you live in Nigeria, obviously. You earn in dollars, you spend in naira. And the naira is not very good.
But
really no
don't you think that's like more money? Because if you're earning in dollars and peradventure from 1,500 naira dollars gets to increase to 1,700 naira tomorrow. Is that no more money for you? So don't you think it's an advantage for the youth in Nigeria? Because a lot of people are now into content, social media money and all that brings them not just naira but other currencies.
I mean, we've seen that the naira and the dollar are always trying to attain a certain balance. When the dollar goes up, the naira too also goes up. The inflation rate rises. So when the dollar is going up, people that sell in the market, they would feel it, and they too, they would add to the prices of what they are selling.
Okay.
So when you come to buy those things, you are still spending more money than you would have spent when the dollar was lower. So there is really no difference.
All right. Let's take a commercial break right now. Let's take a short break, and when we return, we will bring you the latest on some other stories. So stay with us and keep sharing this stream. We will be right back.
As a people and members of LJE Green community, we share a deeper commitment to protect not only our environment, but also the rights and dignity of all individuals within our reach. Every day, we are faced with responsibility to uphold human dignity. If you see something happening around you, do not turn blind eye. We must act because that's where our role as ambassadors come in. Being an ambassador doesn't require any superpower. It requires awareness, compassion, and the willingness to speak up. If you see something, say something. It's our duty to stand up for justice and amplify the voices of those who can't speak for themselves. One voice can spark a movement, and together we can create a nation that values human life. You can reach us on 070-5236-8821 or visit our website at www.ljenigeria.org to report a violation. Remember, if you see something, say something.
Welcome back. Coming up, we'll take a closer look at some other trends making the rounds. Quickly, the Ogun State Police Command has commenced an investigation into the alleged sexual assault of Mirabel, a Nigerian TikToker identified as @Mirab351. In a viral video, she said the incident occurred on Sunday, February 15, sparking widespread outrage under the hashtag #StopRapingWomen. The Lagos State Domestic Violence Agency confirmed the case was referred to Ogun authorities. Police spokesperson DSP Oluseyi Babasheyi said the commissioner directed the DPO of Ibafor Division to contact the survivor. After initial reporting in Ibafor, findings indicated the incident actually occurred in Ogijo jurisdiction. She received medical care and was transferred for further treatment and, of course, investigation as authorities pledged justice and protection. All right, Esther, one thing is this. As a trained broadcast journalist, I've been taught that you need to actually investigate stuff before you just believe. In fact, as a broadcast journalist, facts are much more important than truth, because your truth might not even be my truth. Her truth might not be my truth. So there have to be evidence. There has to be, witnesses or whatever. There just have to be facts on ground before some of these things are believed. In a world where lots of people are just out there to trend, not minding the consequences. In a world where fake news are everywhere, not minding how it's even going to affect kids, how it's going to affect other people. They don't even care. A lot of people don't even care how it's going to traumatize or even influence, other people. One way of the opinion that individuals should try as much as possible to, at least, okay, for example, there was something that happened in a country, in an African country, I think Rwanda. Someone spread false news, and trust me, over 100 people died because of that false news. It was false, and it caused a lot of chaos. Now I'm just trying to relate it to this fact, because when this story came up on board, a lot of people just believed. A lot of people just accepted. Now, believing something, especially when it's as sensitive as this, can actually control your activities. It can control what you say. And one way or the other, positively or negatively, it can even affect people who see these things or who even tap from your activities. Now, from what's been happening so far, from different controversies, coming up on board as it relates to Mirabel. What are your updates on it personally? What do you think? What are your opinions on what's been happening just within these few days, with the kind of things you've been seeing, with the kind of stories that you've been hearing, with the kind of so-called evidences that you've been seeing as well? What are your thoughts for now?
Okay,
Do you still think everything aligns?
I'll just be simple and direct about the whole thing. Lately people came out and were pointing fingers at, she's lying, her stories don't add up, doing their investigative whatever, bringing out her house. Even her neighbor came out to say this thing happened. But now I'm saying that
Her neighbor came out to say it happened.
it didn't happen.
Okay.
As of what was happening.
Okay. Two of our neighbors actually.
Yeah, say
One
it didn't
male,
happen.
one female.
Now, the government, as of yesterday, you were saying she's avoiding seeing the government and seeing all. So now she has gone to see them.
Okay.
And they are saying they've run some tests on her and now they want to go into full investigation so as to know how to get the culprits and all of that. Personally, I don't know how people see things, but me, I said it yesterday that aside content creating, aside cloud chasing, why would someone just come out to lie about something
And
that
people
big?
do it now. People lie about their death. Couple times we've seen it.
Well, I
that
don't
I'm
know. I
dead,
think it's
and the next day
crazy.
it's a prank.
I think it's crazy personally. So I believed her story from the very first day I saw the posts online. I believed the story.
But should you
because these
actually just believe something
these
because you
things-
hear it?
These things are there are things that have these things happen. It's not weird.
You know why? You know why I'm asking this. I think I need to ask you this. There are some issues, rape cases that have occurred, and someone just says it. I've been raped by this or so person, and before you know it, because people just automatically believe without investigations, people just believe that hey, it happens. She's looking real. Her tears are real. This same person was sent to jail just because people believed. This same person was traumatized for years until he committed suicide. Should people just believe?
Well, I would speak for myself in this case. I would always believe a victim until they are proven
What if
wrong.
no? So, are you saying someone is a victim because he says or she says is a victim?
The chances of meeting a person that has been wrongly accused of rape are actually lesser than the chances of meeting
I would
somebody
want to
that has been
disagree with
raped.
that.
No, I'm telling you.
Okay.
I am actually telling you. So right now, I am always inclined to believe a victim because more often than not, these people are saying the truth. More often than not, these people are saying the truth. So in this case now that the case they are still investigating, I choose to believe her until she's proven wrong, and then I believe that the law should take its full course in punishing her for lying.
So you don't think you believe in her for now without even witnesses, without evidence, and perhaps your activities might be capable, your conversations might be capable of probably traumatizing someone. Because you might believe these things and your conversations might align with whatever. And if it happens that it's a lie, don't you think the kind of conversations you've had with people might to a certain level influence them? Don't you think the kind of conversations you've had with other young ladies who might have believed you as well could just influence them into
in cases like this, I try to keep my opinions to myself. I don't go about discussing or talking about things like that with the people until it is proven. Because as much as I know that rape is a thing that happens very often in this country,
and accusations also happen oftenly.
I also know that yes, the accusations also happen. So I try as much as possible to keep my belief and my opinion to myself. And rape has always been happening. My opinions about rape have always been the same, and they would always remain the same.
All right. That's it for today's edition of Trends on LJE News. Many thanks to my very good friends. Esther, thank you very much for your contributions.
Thank you.
Judith, thank you very much for your insights too, of course.
Thank you.
To our viewers and listeners out there, make sure to follow, like, share, and subscribe at LJE News on all social media platforms to stay in the loop and join the conversation ahead of our next show. My name is Omotola Adeleke. See you next time. Bye for now.